My child, stop for just a moment, don't scroll, because what you are about to hear is not something that reaches everyone. This message found you for a reason. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the final moments may completely change the way you see yourself forever. There is something unusual happening around you that you have not fully noticed yet. While you have been living your life, walking through ordinary days, smiling when you could and staying silent when you had to, someone looked at you with a level of attention that surprised even them. They studied the way you carry yourself, the calm in your eyes, the quiet confidence hidden beneath your ordinary moments, and then they said something that spread from one conversation to another. They looked at you and whispered, "This person looks just like someone unforgettable." Those words did not stop there. They traveled. One person repeated them to another. Another person became curious. Soon, more people wanted to know who they were talking about. Do not skip. This story is only beginning. What they compared you to was never about perfection. It was never about fame. It was never about having the same face as someone else. It was about something much deeper. An energy that cannot be copied, a presence that cannot be explained, and a quiet strength that people remember long after you have walked away. You may wonder why strangers sometimes seem to notice you even when you are saying nothing. You may wonder why certain people suddenly become silent when you enter a room. You may wonder why someone keeps looking at you before quickly pretending they were looking somewhere else. Those moments are not as random as they appear. Something about you leaves an impression that words struggle to describe. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Not long ago, someone described you in a way that nobody expected. They said your appearance carries the feeling of someone who has already overcome storms, even if nobody knows your story. They said your face reflects peace after battles. They said your eyes seem to hold conversations without speaking. And suddenly everyone wanted to know more. They were not asking because of gossip. They were asking because your presence created curiosity. Think carefully. Have you ever walked into a place and felt people quietly observing you? Have you ever caught someone smiling for no clear reason after looking at you? Have you ever wondered why certain people remember your face even after meeting only once? There is a reason. Do not leave now. The biggest revelation has not arrived yet. Many people spend years trying to be noticed. They change everything about themselves hoping someone will finally see them. Yet without realizing it, you have been carrying something that cannot be purchased, copied, or learned. Authenticity. People feel it before they understand it. That is why the words spoken about you continued spreading. Someone even said, "There is something timeless about this person." Nobody could fully explain what they meant. Some believed it was your confidence. Others believed it was your kindness. Some thought it was your calmness. Others simply said, "I don't know, but there's something different." And that mystery became impossible to ignore. If this message feels strangely personal, type the first number that came to your mind today in the comments. Do not overthink it. Just one number. Sometimes the smallest response reveals the biggest reflection. Now listen carefully. The next part of this story surprised everyone. The person who first spoke about you was asked a simple question. What exactly do they look like? The room became completely quiet. Instead of describing your hairstyle. Instead of describing your clothes. Instead of describing your height. They smiled. Then they answered with words nobody expected. They look like someone who hasn't realized their own value yet. Silence filled the room. Because everyone suddenly understood the conversation had never been about appearance alone. It was about the feeling you leave behind. That feeling stays with people. Long after you are gone. Long after the conversation ends. Long after the day is over. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There will always be people who underestimate themselves while everyone around them quietly notices qualities they cannot see. Could that be happening to you? Have you become so familiar with your own reflection that you no longer recognize what others notice first? Sometimes we become the last person to see our own light. That is why this message found you today. Not to make you believe you are above anyone else, but to remind you that you may have been looking at yourself through the smallest window while the world has been seeing a much bigger picture. The conversation about you is still continuing. More people are joining it. More opinions are forming. And one unexpected sentence is about to change everything. Stay with me. Because what they say next will reveal why your presence has been impossible for certain people to forget. Before the next truth is revealed, pause right here, because the sentence you are about to hear changed the entire conversation about you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and what comes next may explain moments in your life that never made sense before. The people talking about you did not agree on everything, but they all agreed on one unforgettable detail. One person leaned forward and quietly said, "They don't just remind me of someone, they remind me of the version of ourselves we wish we could become." The room instantly fell silent. Nobody laughed. Nobody interrupted. They simply kept thinking about those words. From that moment on, the conversation was no longer about your appearance. It became about the feeling your presence leaves behind. Some said your calmness makes people feel safe. Others said your smile appears at exactly the right moment. A few even admitted they remembered your face long after forgetting everyone else's. They could not explain why. They simply knew there was something different. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then another unexpected voice joined the conversation. They said, "Have you noticed that this person never has to ask for attention? Somehow attention finds them." Everyone looked at each other because they had noticed the same thing without ever saying it aloud. Think carefully. Have strangers ever smiled at you for no reason? Has someone remembered a tiny detail about you that even you forgot? Have people ever stared for a second longer than expected before looking away? Sometimes these moments feel ordinary, but together they tell a much bigger story. The people discussing you started connecting those moments one by one until a surprising picture appeared. They realized your greatest quality was not something you wear. It was something you carry. Confidence without arrogance. Kindness without weakness. Quiet strength without needing applause. That combination is rare, and rare things are remembered. If this message speaks to you, pause for 1 second and comment your angel number below. Do not overthink it. Simply write the number that has stayed in your heart recently, then continue listening because the biggest revelation is still ahead. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the conversation continued, someone finally asked the question everyone had been thinking. If they remind you of someone unforgettable, who exactly do they look like? This time the answer arrived without hesitation. They look like the person everyone notices too late. Those words changed everything. Suddenly people remembered moments they had ignored before. They remembered how your ideas stayed in their minds. They remembered how your encouragement gave someone confidence without you even realizing it. They remembered how your quiet actions spoke louder than long conversations. Piece by piece, the story became clearer. The comparison was never about matching another person's face. It was about carrying qualities that stand the test of time. That is why the conversation refused to end. Every new person added another reason. Every memory made the mystery even stronger. Some described your determination. Others described your patience. Someone smiled and simply said, "This person has the kind of presence you cannot replace." The room became completely quiet again. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Yet one final voice had not spoken. This person had watched the entire conversation without saying a single word. Everyone turned toward them because they knew this opinion would matter more than all the others combined. After a long pause, they finally smiled and said, "You're all looking at the outside, but you've completely missed the real reason people can't forget this person." Every eye in the room focused on them. Nobody moved. Nobody interrupted. Because the next sentence would reveal the one quality that makes your presence unforgettable, and once those words were spoken, nobody would ever look at you the same way again. Wait, before you decide what those final words were, listen carefully, because this was the exact moment the entire room stopped breathing for a second. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The person who had remained silent finally looked around and said, "You are all asking who this person looks like, but you're asking the wrong question. The real question is, why does everyone remember them?" No one answered. They simply waited. Then came the sentence that nobody expected. This person carries the kind of presence people search for their entire lives. The room instantly became quiet. Suddenly every previous conversation made sense. Every glance. Every compliment. Every unexpected smile. Every moment someone seemed interested in you for reasons they could never explain. It was never about looking exactly like another person. It was about carrying qualities that naturally draw people in. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One by one, people began sharing what they had secretly noticed about you. One said, "Whenever this person enters a room, the atmosphere somehow feels lighter." Another replied, "I noticed that too." A third person smiled and added, "Even when they are completely silent, everyone becomes aware that they are there." Nobody disagreed. Instead, more memories appeared. Someone remembered how your encouragement changed their entire day. Someone else remembered your patience during a difficult moment. Another admitted they had tried to forget you, but your face kept returning to their thoughts. They were not describing perfection. They were describing impact. That is what made the conversation unforgettable. Then someone quietly asked, "If everyone feels this way, why doesn't this person realize it?" Once again, silence filled the room. Sometimes the people who carry the brightest light are the last to notice it. Sometimes you become so familiar with yourself that you stop seeing what everyone else sees immediately. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine hearing complete strangers describe you without knowing you were listening. Imagine discovering that people admire qualities you never thought anyone noticed. Imagine finding out that your calmness inspired confidence, your kindness gave someone hope, and your determination quietly encouraged another person to keep going. That realization alone changed the direction of the conversation. If you've made it this far, pause for just a second and comment your angel number below. Then continue, because the next few moments reveal the biggest surprise yet. As everyone reflected on what had been said, one final question remained. Who was the unforgettable person they compared this individual to? Every eye turned toward the first speaker again. This time they answered slowly. They remind me of someone who never needed to become someone else to be remembered. Those words echoed through everyone's mind. The comparison had never been about copying a famous face. It had never been about looking identical to anyone. It was about authenticity. The kind of authenticity that cannot be imitated. The kind that stays in people's memories long after appearances fade. Then another surprising detail emerged. Someone admitted they had once tried to describe you to a friend but couldn't find the right words. Finally they said, "You'll understand when you meet them." That single sentence explained everything. Some people are impossible to describe because they are meant to be experienced. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Yet before the gathering ended, an older voice quietly stood and smiled. Everyone became silent again because this person rarely spoke without purpose. Looking around the room, they said, "You still haven't noticed the most extraordinary detail." Curiosity filled every face. They continued, "The reason people keep comparing this person to someone unforgettable is because they have only seen one chapter of their story. They have no idea what this person is about to become." Those words changed everything. Suddenly the conversation was no longer about who you resemble today. It became about the remarkable person you are still growing into. And what they revealed next made everyone realize they had underestimated you from the very beginning. Everything changed with the very next sentence, "And if you leave now, you will miss the one detail that made every person in that room completely rethink what they believed about you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you." The older voice looked around slowly and said, "You have all been talking about what this person looks like, but none of you noticed the most obvious truth." Every face turned toward them. No one spoke. Then came the words that nobody had expected to hear. "People don't remember this person because they resemble someone famous. They remember this person because they make others feel seen." The silence that followed was deeper than before. One person lowered their head as they remembered a conversation with you. Another smiled because they suddenly understood why they had never forgotten your kindness. Someone else admitted they had met hundreds of people, yet your face was one of the few they could still picture clearly. It was never your appearance alone. It was the feeling your presence created. That was the secret everyone had been trying to explain. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then an unexpected story emerged. One person quietly said, "The first time I met them, I couldn't explain why they felt familiar." Another replied, "I felt exactly the same." A third added, "It was almost as if I had known them much longer than I actually had." The room filled with quiet agreement. They realized this was not an isolated experience. Different people. Different places. Different moments. Yet they all described the same unforgettable impression. That is when someone asked the question that changed the direction of the entire discussion. What if this isn't a coincidence at all? Every eye widened. The older voice smiled gently and answered, "Sometimes a person carries such genuine character that others naturally recognize it before they can explain it." Suddenly everything made sense. Your patience. Your calmness. Your ability to encourage people without trying to impress them. Those qualities quietly shaped the way others remembered you. If this message has reached your heart, pause for a moment and comment your angel number below. Then continue listening, because the next revelation surprised everyone even more. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the conversation continued, one final memory surfaced. Someone said, "I once heard another group talking about this same person." The room became silent again. "What did they say?" another voice asked immediately. The answer came without hesitation. "They said this person looks like hope after a long season of waiting." No one expected that description. It wasn't about the shape of your face. It wasn't about your style. It wasn't about anything temporary. It was about the peace people sensed when they crossed paths with you. The discussion suddenly became much deeper than anyone imagined. More stories followed. One person remembered how your words gave them confidence during a difficult week. Another recalled how your smile made an ordinary day unforgettable. Someone quietly admitted they had almost walked away from an opportunity until a simple conversation with you gave them the courage to continue. Piece by piece, everyone realized they had been affected by you in ways they had never expressed before. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Before anyone could end the conversation, the oldest person in the room stood once more. Their final words were spoken slowly, making sure every person heard them clearly. One day this person will discover what everyone else already sees, and when that day comes, they will stop doubting themselves forever. Those words remained in the room long after the conversation ended. People left with one thought repeating in their minds. They had spent so much time asking who you looked like that they almost missed the real answer. You reminded people of the best version of themselves because your character, your quiet confidence, and your genuine heart left a lasting impression wherever you went. But there was still one final piece of this story that nobody had revealed yet. It was the one sentence spoken after everyone else had already walked away, and once you hear it, the title of this message will make complete sense in a way nobody saw coming. Just when everyone thought the conversation was over, one person quietly returned and shared the sentence nobody else had heard. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They looked around and said, I think we've all misunderstood the meaning of what happened today. Every person stopped walking and turned back. Curiosity filled the room once again. Then they continued, we kept asking who this person looks like, but the truth is much bigger than that. They don't remind people of one face, they remind people of a feeling they never want to lose. Those words changed everything. Suddenly every previous opinion connected like pieces of a puzzle. The smiles. The memories. The unexpected compliments. The lingering conversations. None of them were random. They were all pointing toward the same truth. Your presence leaves an impression that stays with people long after you are gone. That is why someone told everyone you look just like a person they could never forget. It was never about copying another appearance. It was about carrying qualities that people wish they could experience every day. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then someone shared a memory that nobody expected. I saw this person helping someone who never even thanked them, they said. They walked away without asking for recognition. Another person nodded immediately. I remember something similar. A third voice smiled and added, that's exactly why I couldn't stop thinking about them. The conversation became even deeper. They realized that the strongest beauty is often revealed through ordinary moments that nobody else notices. Someone then whispered, maybe that's why people remember this person so clearly. Another replied, exactly. Genuine character always lasts longer than first impressions. The room fell silent once again. If you've stayed this far, pause for a second and comment your angel number below. Then continue, because the final discovery is closer than ever. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As everyone reflected on what had been said, an unexpected visitor entered the room. They had heard only the final few minutes of the discussion. What are all of you talking about? They asked. Someone answered, we're trying to describe one unforgettable person. The visitor smiled before anyone finished explaining. I already know who you're talking about. Everyone looked surprised. How? They asked. The visitor replied, because I had the exact same thought the first time I met them. Suddenly everyone realized that completely different people, from completely different places, had reached the same conclusion without influencing one another. That made the story even more remarkable. This wasn't one opinion. It wasn't one compliment. It was a pattern. A pattern built over countless encounters. A pattern created by the way you make people feel valued, welcomed, and remembered. Then the visitor added one final observation. The reason people compare this person to someone unforgettable is simple. They never pretend to be anyone else. Those words settled into every heart in the room. Authenticity had been the answer all along. Your quiet confidence. Your steady kindness. Your willingness to remain yourself even when nobody was watching. Those were the qualities that made people stop, notice, and remember. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Before everyone finally left, the oldest voice smiled one last time and said, "One day this person will hear everything that has been said about them, and on that day they will finally understand why so many people never forgot their face." No one replied. They simply carried those words with them. Yet after the room became completely empty, one final sentence was spoken so quietly that almost nobody heard it. It was the sentence that tied every part of this story together. It revealed why this conversation happened today instead of yesterday. It revealed why this message found you instead of someone else. And it revealed the one truth that will stay with you long after this video ends. One final truth remained hidden. And the moment it was spoken, everyone understood why this conversation could never be forgotten. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. After every person had walked away, one quiet voice remained behind. Looking at the empty room, they softly said, "They will probably never know how many lives they have touched just by being themselves." Those words echoed in the silence. No applause followed. No dramatic reaction. Only a deep realization that the greatest impact is often invisible to the person creating it. That is why someone told everyone you look just like someone unforgettable. They were never talking about a celebrity, a model, or a famous face. They were describing a rare kind of presence that cannot be copied. They were describing the kind of person people remember years later because of how they made others feel. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine hearing strangers tell stories about you without even realizing you were the subject. One person says, "They always made people feel important." Another replies, "I still remember the way they encouraged me." A third smiles and says, "Meeting them changed the way I looked at myself." None of those people planned to have the same opinion. Yet somehow they all arrived at the same conclusion. That is what made this story extraordinary. The conversation was never organized. It happened naturally because your presence quietly remained in people's memories. Then someone asked one final question. What is the first thing people notice about this person? The answer came instantly. Peace. Another voice added, authenticity. A third whispered, hope. Those three words stayed in everyone's minds. Peace. Authenticity. Hope. They realized those qualities were more memorable than appearance alone. That was the real reason people kept comparing you to someone unforgettable. If this message has stayed with you until this moment, pause for a second and comment your angel number below. Then keep listening, because the final revelation connects everything you have heard from the beginning. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The oldest person returned one last time with a gentle smile. They looked around and said, "There is one sentence I intentionally saved until the very end." Everyone became silent again. The day people started saying this person looks just like someone unforgettable was the same day they realized something else. Every eye remained fixed on them. Then they spoke the final words. This person doesn't change rooms by trying to be noticed. They change rooms by reminding people of the goodness they almost forgot still exists. Nobody said anything after that. There was nothing left to add. The mystery had finally been solved. Your appearance started the conversation, but your character completed it. Your face caught attention, but your kindness, your calmness, your confidence, and your genuine heart became the reason people continued talking long after you had gone. That is why this title mattered from the very beginning. It was never about looking exactly like someone else. It was about carrying the kind of presence that makes people stop, remember, and quietly tell others, you have to meet this person someday. Before you leave, carry one thought with you. Never underestimate the quiet influence you have on the people around you. The smallest act of kindness, the simplest smile, the calmest word of encouragement, or the courage to remain yourself may become the reason someone remembers you for years to come. And perhaps, somewhere today, another conversation has already begun, where someone is once again telling everyone they met a person they will never forget, and they are talking about you. Just when you thought the story had reached its end, a message arrived from someone who had never been part of the original conversation, and what they revealed connected every piece of the mystery. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Days after everyone had stopped talking, a simple note appeared. It contained only one sentence: "I finally met the person everyone was describing." Those words instantly brought the entire discussion back to life. People gathered again, eager to hear what had happened. They asked only one question. Well, were they right? The answer came with a smile. No, the visitor replied. They weren't right. The room became completely silent. Then the visitor continued, they were actually describing only half of what this person is. Nobody expected that answer. Everyone leaned closer. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The visitor explained, you all spoke about their appearance. You spoke about their presence. You spoke about the feeling they leave behind. But after meeting them, I realized something much bigger. Every eye remained fixed on the speaker. This person has the rare ability to make people believe in themselves without even trying. A quiet silence filled the room once again. One by one, people began remembering moments they had almost forgotten. A conversation that gave them confidence. A smile that arrived at exactly the right time. A few encouraging words that stayed with them for months. Suddenly everyone realized the same truth. The greatest thing about you was never what people first noticed. It was what they discovered after knowing you. If you've stayed until this moment, pause for a second and comment your angel number below. Then continue listening, because the final discovery is unlike anything shared before. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Another person quietly stood and admitted something surprising. I have compared many people to others before, but never like this. Someone asked, what makes this one different? They answered, because this person doesn't remind me of someone's face. They remind me of the kind of character people spend their whole lives searching for. Nobody argued. Instead, more stories surfaced. One person remembered your honesty. Another remembered your patience. Someone smiled while recalling how you treated everyone with respect, even when nobody was watching. Piece by piece, a beautiful picture appeared. It became obvious that your greatest strength could never be measured by appearance alone. Then came the final question. If all of this is true, why does this person still underestimate themselves sometimes? The oldest voice answered immediately. Because mirrors only reflect the outside. They cannot show the difference a kind heart makes in the lives of others. Those words settled into every heart. Sometimes people never realize how deeply they are appreciated because the most meaningful compliments are spoken after they leave the room. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Before everyone said goodbye, one final statement was written on a piece of paper and placed in the center of the table. It read, the greatest compliment a person can receive is not that they resemble someone famous, it is that someone else hopes to become more like them. No one moved for several moments. They simply looked at those words, understanding their meaning a little more with each passing second. And somewhere, perhaps without even knowing it, another conversation had already begun. Someone had just met you for the first time. They smiled, turned to the person beside them, and quietly said, there is something unforgettable about this person. That single sentence began the story all over again. One last discovery remained hidden until now, and the person who uncovered it said they almost couldn't believe what they had found. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Long after the conversations had ended, someone decided to ask a completely different question. Instead of asking, "Who does this person look like?" they asked, "Why do so many people describe this person in almost the exact same way?" The answers came from different places, different people, and different moments in time. Yet they all carried the same meaning. One person said, "They make ordinary moments feel meaningful." Another answered, "I always feel calmer after talking to them." Someone else quietly admitted, "I didn't realize how much they inspired me until they were no longer standing beside me." None of these people knew each other. None of them planned their answers. Yet they all described the same feeling. That was the greatest surprise of all. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then someone found an old notebook where people had written first impressions of those they had met over the years. Among dozens of names, one description stood out. It simply read, "This is someone I will remember." No explanation. No long paragraph. Just one sentence. The room became silent because everyone understood exactly who those words were about. They realized that unforgettable people rarely try to become unforgettable. They simply remain true to who they are. That quiet authenticity becomes impossible to ignore. If you've stayed until this very moment, pause for a second and comment your angel number below. Then continue listening, because the final message is the most meaningful one of all. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A thoughtful voice finally said, "Maybe we've all been looking at this the wrong way from the beginning." Everyone looked up. "How?" they asked. The answer was simple. "We believed this story was about appearance. But it has always been about influence." Those words changed everything once again. Your smile may be remembered. Your eyes may be remembered. Your face may be remembered. But what remains in people's hearts is how they felt when they were with you. That is the kind of beauty that never fades. That is why someone confidently told everyone you look just like someone unforgettable. They were trying to describe a feeling that words could barely hold. Then one final person spoke. "Years from now," they said, "people may not remember every conversation they had today, but they will remember the person who made them believe that kindness, honesty, and quiet confidence still exist." No one interrupted. Every heart in the room understood the truth. Sometimes the greatest compliment is never spoken directly to you. Sometimes it is shared in conversations you never hear, carried by people who simply cannot forget the way you made them feel. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the room emptied for the last time, one final note remained on the table. It read, "Never underestimate the impression you leave behind." Someone you have already met may still be telling your story today. That sentence completed the journey. The title was never about becoming someone else. It was about discovering that the qualities you already carry are the very reason people remember you. So as you move forward, remember this. Your character speaks before your words, your kindness travels farther than you imagine, and your genuine heart leaves footprints in places you may never see. Somewhere, even today, another person may be smiling as they tell someone else, "You remind me of the most unforgettable person I've ever met." And without realizing it, they are talking about you. The story should have ended already, but something happened after everyone went home that nobody could have predicted. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the final chapter reveals the one detail that almost everyone missed. Late that evening, someone who had quietly listened to every conversation opened an old photo album. They were not searching for a face. They were searching for a feeling. As they turned each page, they realized something extraordinary. They had met hundreds of people over the years, yet only a handful had left a lasting impression. Then they smiled and whispered, "Now I understand." A family member asked, "Understand what?" They replied, "The reason everyone keeps talking about this person isn't because they look like someone famous. It's because they remind people that authenticity still exists. Those words spread even faster than the original conversation. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next morning, something even more surprising happened. Someone who had never met you heard the story and became curious. Is this person really that unforgettable? They asked. The answer came immediately. You'll know within the first few minutes. Days later, they finally met you. There was no dramatic entrance. No extraordinary event. Just a simple conversation. Yet when it ended, they quietly admitted, everything I heard was true, but the reality is even better. That single sentence became the strongest confirmation anyone could have imagined. It wasn't built on appearances. It was built on genuine experience. Every person walked away with the same thought. Some people leave memories without even realizing it. If this message resonates with you, pause for a moment and comment your angel number below. Then continue listening, because the final discovery may become the most memorable part of this entire journey. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the story continued, another unexpected pattern appeared. People from completely different backgrounds described you using almost identical words. Calm. Authentic. Kind. Confident. Easy to remember. None of them had rehearsed those answers. None of them had spoken together. Yet they all reached the same conclusion independently. That surprised everyone. It proved that lasting impressions are never created by trying too hard. They are created by consistently being genuine. Then someone asked one final question that no one had dared to ask before. What will people remember about this person 10 years from now? The room grew silent. After a thoughtful pause, the answer came. They will remember how they felt around them. That was the moment every piece of the story finally came together. Faces naturally change with time. Styles change. Trends disappear. But the way someone makes another person feel can remain for years. That is why the title of this message has always carried a deeper meaning than it first appeared. It was never simply about your body or your appearance. It was about the presence you carry wherever you go. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Before the final light in the room was turned off, someone carefully folded a small piece of paper and placed it on the table. Written on it were just a few simple words: the world remembers people who help others remember their own worth. Everyone who read that sentence smiled quietly. No further explanation was needed. And perhaps at this very moment, someone is sharing your story again. Someone is saying, I met a person today who reminded me that kindness still matters. Someone else is replying, I know exactly who you're talking about. And without you hearing a single word of that conversation, your name continues to leave a quiet, lasting impression that reaches farther than you ever imagined.